notice. They're playing in a great groove right now. You know, the win streak, you can see that they're playing confident basketball, starting to play more connected offensively, and they do enough things defensively, you know, to keep you off balance.
What defensively would you try to take away, first off?
Well, for us, it just has to be, again, we're process oriented, so it's going to be about our habits. You know, the checklist of things that we want to get very solid at. It doesn't change no matter who we're playing. I mean, obviously, there's some bigger challenges with, you know, elite level playmakers. You know, like LeBron and the 3-point shootings that they have. But look, we've got to protect that paint. We've got to contain them in transition, and we have to be able to get to the 3-point line, get uncomfortable, get those guys off their open threes. All of it is easier said than done, but these are the habits we're trying to build.
If you need him to go all 4 quarters tonight, could Hassan go?
Yeah.
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 No issue. Okay.
Yeah, he could have gone the other night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Eric, when you talk about protecting the paint and the way they're starting with Kevin Love now, how do you sort of weigh the positive and negatives of just having Hassan chase versus protect paint? I assume you're not going zone, so how do you sort of weigh that?
Yeah, again, it's about your habits and the challenges when you have elite level playmaking. But virtually every single night, you're going against some kind of space shooting 5. So Miles Turner, Al Horford, Towns, the list goes on and on. Okay, so it's not a big shock. You know, your pick and roll coverage. You have to rely on your habits. All of those are just excuses. If you want to feel sorry for yourself that there's going to be a shooting 5, I think that's what makes the game interesting. There's different kinds of players, different kinds of challenges. We have a system in place. It will get challenged. That's what it's about. You have to stay connected and stay disciplined to what you do.
To that end, though, you did play justice on Towns, so how much do you concern yourself with cross matches? Coaches a lot of times worry about getting back, or how much do you just want to go ahead and just line your 5 guys in the way you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, we played Hassan against Horford,
Mm-hmm.
so each game is different. You know, you just have to do what's important to you, regardless of who you're playing. So cross matches will be a part of it. It's a part of the NBA game right now. We think we're getting better with it, but the point is we'll be challenged tonight, and that's what you want as a competitor. Now we have some things that challenge them as well. We want to make sure that we're trying to maximize that on the other end, and that's what makes these kind of games, you know, compelling for fans.
Eric, you've spent so much time around Dwyane throughout his career. Why do you think the 6-man backup point guard role suits him so well?
I think any role that has to do with winning suits him. You know, that's what he's been about his whole career, and it shows the kind of guy that he is, that he's willing to sacrifice in this role to provide something different than he's done before in his career, and you can see that he's playing that role well.
You faced Dwyane in Chicago and LeBron with Cleveland. You never played against them together at the same time. Does that stir up anything in you?
Not now. I mean, yeah, when you see these guys in different uniforms, it's always like, really? that looks strange. But, you know, this league changes year to year. So we've been through a myriad of changes in the last 5 years. A lot of new faces here. I love the team that we have in that locker room. I love going to work every single day with this group. You know, when I see guys that there's very few now that were with us back then. When I see them, it's always nice. You know, to have that split second going back memory lane, but my focus is with these guys in here right now.
That split second, though, that split second, though, the 4 years you had kind of just being in the pressure cooker.
Yeah.
How has that informed the rest of your career since?
Yeah, I think all those experiences hopefully make you better. You know, I think it made all of us more resilient, thicker skin. We're able to just zero in and focus on the things that matter and tune out everything else. That becomes a muscle like anything else. It's like going into the weight room. The first time you do it, it's uncomfortable being in that environment, and now being in something like this doesn't even faze you at all. And more importantly, after a loss or when it gets tough, it gets a little bit uncomfortable. You build that muscle.
How does Dwyane's game compare now to when 3, 4, 5 years ago?
It's different, and you can look at it every chapter of his career. It's different. He can still give you those bursts of explosiveness, but he can just as much beat you with his mind.
As a fan of the game in general, is it fulfilling or redeeming in some capacity to see these guys like LeBron and Dwyane still playing at this level at 33 and 35? As not that it's the same as it was when they were 27 and 31, but still playing at such a high elite level at this game?
I think it's great for this league. It shows you that you can play at a high level if you do the right things off the court. These are messages we pass along to our young players as well. You can extend your career if that means more money. You can also play the game you love for a lot longer than you could 25 years ago. But you have to make sacrifices. You have to take care of your body. You can't be out all night. You have to eat the right things. You have to be very diligent and disciplined in the weight room, corrective exercises, all these things. There's a map now for players to play at a high level for a long period of time. Most players aren't willing to do the things that are necessary to do that.
Do you feel like in a way these guys made that map, given the technology and the information we have today?
Yeah, everybody's now gaining from sports science. Sometimes that can be a negative term, but there's a lot to be learned, and there still will be some new frontiers. Certainly in this the last few years, there are great examples of it, but there are examples back when Pat was coaching, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, guys like that. But he did a lot of things that were unique and different than most players at that time. And I think you're seeing that league-wide. I think the pro basketball player is taking care of his body much more than he was before.
Coaches, you led the two of them together over those 4 great years, LeBron and Dwyane. Now as you have to game plan against them, what's the challenge? What's that challenge look like?
That's the life of in the NBA and the life of an NBA coach. You have different challenges, great challenges every night. What we see is the top team in the East. They're not there right now, but if you want to go somewhere in the East, this team, they're not going anywhere. Okay, so you're going to have to knock them off at some point. That's what competitors want. You want to be part of games like this.
Erik, Deion's growth, obviously maturation. How different is he now than when he left Cleveland?
I don't know. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Chris Quinn, Wayne Ellington, they would be good guys to ask. They actually talked about that recently, both of them saying how much he's grown, and we think our culture, our system, and his openness to us, that really has been a symbiotic relationship. We're not for everybody. We're not. But I love the strides that he's making. He's in great shape. He's learning how to really become a winning player. I can't wait to see where he goes from here.
Coach LeBron's shooting percentage is the highest in his career this year. So when you watch the tape everything, do you see difference what he did this year?
I see a great player. Every time I see him, I see a great player. So I never got into any of those other storylines if it was different. He plays at an elite level all the time. Yeah.
I know this sounds really goofy, but I'm asking for somebody who's not here. When Draymond was a rookie, you guys had a game against him where he hit the shot in the last second to beat you. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, the slip pick and roll.
Yeah.
I never think about that now. Ruined my New Year's.
That was kind of like his coming out party. Him and LeBron were jawing a little bit back and forth that night. What do you remember about that night?
Curry coming off on a catch and shoot at that time. You just didn't see the level of shooting of guards. Nobody has an answer for that still to this day. But what they were doing at that time was wow. Okay, what are we supposed to do on that? I don't know. Slip and layup and okay. Well, at least our next opponent doesn't have 2 guards that shoot like that and come off screens. That's what I remember about that.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.